What's going on, everybody? We are in Aberdeen, Mississippi at the old historic Aberdeen Cemetery. First cemetery I've ever came to where they put steps in for you to walk over the fence to get into the cemetery. We're here to visit two graves in particular. One is the lady buried in a rocking chair, and the other is a lady who passed away when her dress caught on fire. And so when they buried her, the tombstone itself is supposed to be of her in a dress on fire, which is very strange, which is why we're here to see all this. This is a very historic cemetery. From what I remember, I think it's at 1838 was the first time somebody was buried here, and they have markers all over the place, but there's no pamphlets to explain what any of the markers are. So we're going to walk around and look at some of these and try to figure out what's going on, and then we'll try to find those two graves, especially the lady in the rocking chair. That's why we're really here. So I tell you what, if this is your first time here, thank you for watching the video. If you'd like to subscribe, like, share, do all the things to help the channel grow. It has grown substantially. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the things that you've done, liking and subscribing and sharing it, to allow me to go do all this stuff and let me be the vessel for you to see all these interesting things that are out on these back roads. So without further ado, hey, let's go find this stuff. So as you come in from the steps right over there, you'll see there's a sign that has all the listings, which I would imagine back in the day they used to have pamphlets you could get. But it coincides, like I've took pictures. Like for example, you've got number 4 right here, and it says number 4 is Dr. George Hurd. That right there is a copy of his death mask on his tombstone. He died in 1851 at 36 years old. So there's things like this. Like, let's go over here. Like, here's number 3 over here. Let's see what number 3 is. Is the only known veteran of the American Revolution buried in Aberdeen. So here's an American Revolutionary War soldier over here. How cool is that? 1861. Right there. 1861 to 1846. Private, the Continental Line Revolutionary War. Now that is cool. So this cemetery is full of stuff like this. Okay, so here's number 17 over here. Let's see what 17 is. This is exciting. Oh, I don't have a 17. I got to go back and look for that. Which, this could be a potter's field. So let's keep looking around. This is exciting. Like, here's number 1. Let's see what number 1 is. So we'll go over here. Veteran of the War of 1812 over here. So a War of 1812. Wow, this cemetery is fantastic. So War of 1812. Elijah. Let me get out of the way. There it is, right there. It's hard to read because it's been here for a little while. Alright, and so here's number 2. Gosh, this is 18 months as a company captain in the Mexican War. After this, I'm going to try to go find some more. Wow, this is fantastic, y'all. William Keyes served in the Mexican-American War. 18 months in the late, was captain of the company Chickasaw County, Mississippi. How cool, man. Alright, so let's go find some more stuff. So there's this part in the cemetery of all the Confederate dead. That is a whole lot of folk. Wow. So let's Let's walk this way. We've got more markers. I promise we'll get to the lady in the rocking chair soon, but wow, holy moly, there are markers everywhere. Number 7. Number 7. Okay, so this is the earliest known burial in the cemetery. Earliest, that's the guy. Number 1.
Is that right?
Number 1 dead dude, right there. In the cemetery. 1839, right here. And there's so much more. Where was number 11 at? Did you ever see 11?
Here's something back here somewhere, because this thing run down this way.
Yeah, because it's a potter's field wherever it's at.
This is probably it in here.
Yeah, I bet that's all. Yeah, I would imagine so. So the tombstone of the lady, her name is Mary. It says Mary in heaven. And look at that. You can see, look how strange that is. Her dress, she died from her dress catching on fire, and that's what they put on her tombstone. For those coming out here, she's number 21, by the way. So let's go see the lady of the hour, the lady buried in a rocking chair, shall we? Let's head that way. She's right over here. So we're going to the only mausoleum in the cemetery, Miss Needam Whitfield. Now we don't really know if this is true or false, but as it always goes, legend has it that she's buried inside the mausoleum, sitting in her rocking chair, holding knitting equipment and knitting. Like, she died in 1854. It says she was kind to all, a devoted wife, a tender mother, and an zealous member of the Presbyterian Church. She was born in North Carolina and died here in Aberdeen in 1854 at the age of 61. And supposedly, inside this is a lady sitting in a rocking chair, knitting. Which, if you think about it, it's kind of, you know, it's tall enough to support that theory. You don't really have to think too much about it to believe the legend that she's in there. Let's walk all the way on the backside. It's got a fence all the way around it of weeping willows. Here, I'll give you a good shot of the willows too. There's the willows. The weeping willows. So yeah, that's it. What kind of crazy back roads of a lady buried in a rocking chair? Urban legend, right? And then you've got the tombstone of the lady that burned to death with her dress on, and so they choose to bury her with a tombstone of her burning to death. That one's a little weird. And then this whole other just history of Revolutionary War soldiers, War of 1812, Mexican-American War, all the things. This is a good get. I'm excited that we found this place. And on top of it, there's a whole other cemetery over there that seems like it's in one section is from the same time period. From what they said, they signed a treaty with the Choctaws, and Aberdeen just kind of blew up overnight once they signed the treaty. And so that's how this town kind of came to be. You know, I'm sure they farm cotton and everything else over here, just like everywhere else in the South. So I'll tell you what, if you made it this far, thank you. You don't know how much it means to me to have the channel grow like it has, and I can't wait to see where we get to go in the future and all the fun things me and you get to do together, because you know what, you never know what you're going to find on the back roads. We'll see you guys next time.